hard to go through?
To be honest, a lot of people ask me that, but I don't have anything like that. I haven't found any difficulties in studying Bulgaria. Everything that I've done, there hasn't been any kind of serious, apart from the bureaucracy with boom and stuff like that. But I mean, that's stuff that happens everywhere. It's not unique to Bulgaria. There are things in Bulgaria that are problematic, but you just get around them. I think, probably for a lot of companies, especially tech companies, until now, it's quite difficult to get financing, but that's changed now. I mean, now it should be easy to get financing, yeah. So I haven't really found anything that's been so difficult.
Thank you. Okay. The next question? Yes.
These were actually, I think, the most successful ideas. Did you have any ideas which ended up with failure in Bulgaria?
Well, I think the shopping site, Bazaar, was probably our biggest or most epic failure just because of the amount of money that we lost. But I've been lucky enough to I haven't lost a huge amount of money yet on any kind of idea, apart from, obviously the 50,000 plus there. Apart from those, I've done other stuff. I've launched a lot of other online products. That's just my thing, and a lot of stuff has failed. Like we tried to build this project management system that was going to replace Basecamp. Basecamp is like the biggest project management system online, but we thought that it sucked, and we decided to do our own thing. And again, we went and built for months and months and months, and it didn't launch. It was just our kind of way of doing things, of planning out these huge things and having this launch in a year. That kind of really was an issue, which I learned from.
Your first ideas were successful.
Pardon?
Your first ideas, maybe the last years, not the last years, but the first ones were successful.
Yeah, selling CDs in school was pretty successful. Yeah, but
I'm wondering if somebody just don't have success from the first and the second time.
Yeah, maybe I was slightly lucky in that the first idea was successful, but the second idea wasn't. I had a lot of money stolen from me. They were successful, but they were successful in a very small way. They weren't successful as serious businesses. I wasn't like this kingpin of pirated CDs worldwide. It was just this whole thing. So if you look at the kind of more professional career, I guess, from when I started studying in London, yeah, the whole web design thing was really successful, and today it is very successful. But when I started it wasn't that successful. It was much more problematic. We didn't really enjoy the stuff that we were doing, and those were challenges that we had to kind of get through. But I'm 26 as well, so I haven't had the kind of decades of experience in building stuff.
Again, if you can formulate your question in English, you can ask in Bulgarian too.
Hello, thank you for the lecture. I'm inspired. Thank you. My question is, what do you think is most important for the Bulgarian consumer?
For the Bulgarian consumer?
Yes.
What do you mean? Just...
Is it the quality, variety, what do you think?
When we started the restaurant, one of our partners in the restaurant is kind of this really pessimistic guy. And it's great because, it's a really good balance. It's really kind of optimism and pessimism. The minute, for some reason we still took part, but the minute that, the idea was we're going to sell burgers in Sofia, his response was like, what? Burgers for like 9 leva, are you fucking crazy? Mimas, they cost 3 leva or whatever. So, his kind of idea was that actually in Bulgaria it's price that matters the most. And probably for a big chunk of society, price is extremely important, because of the kind of economic situation in Bulgaria. But I think people are really looking for quality, they're looking for cool stuff. And that's, apart from this, I'm doing a couple of other things which you may see in the next couple of months, which are kind of related to that. Just cool stuff, quality stuff in Bulgaria.
Are you counting on the viral effect?
I mean, we have done some minor advertising, but the majority of kind of traffic has been viral and kind of people recommending and stuff like that. I think that's really important. I mean, if something is able to market itself, you know, you're onto something big.
And your previous businesses as well?
Yeah. In school, my CDs were marketed by classmates. Bazaar didn't get to marketing anything. The web stuff, Spark, we've never ever advertised. Never ever. I mean, we're absolutely booked. We've never advertised.
Congratulations.
То сега ще кажа на български. Ако може да на английски, може да на български. Казвам на английски.
And also congrats on being one of the really first startups that got investment from Index and Lauren. So my question is, what was the main thing that they saw in you? Was it the team? Was it interest? Was it the idea itself? And second of all, could you tell how would you suggest Bulgarian entrepreneurs to scale abroad, and what's your advice to them?
In terms of what they saw, when we met John and Robin from Blue Run and Robin from Index, we had some pretty significant traction in terms of open building. So we've been featured by Apple, we're kind of having tens of thousands of downloads, and the site was growing. And that's the really main thing that they cared about. They, you know, we're very close to John and Robin. I mean, we kind of matched in terms of personality, so that is kind of something really important. Bulgaria, in the beginning, John, you know, when John said, you know, shook our hand for the 2 million, it was basically, you know, here's 2 million, but you need to move to the valley. And we were basically like, yeah, we're going to do that, sure, send us the money. We didn't move, and, you know, I spoke to him last week, and one of his first points was, you know, I'm so glad that you didn't listen to me, and you kind of stayed in Bulgaria. You're kind of making, you know, so much more out of your money than you would in the valley. So, yeah, I mean, Bulgaria hasn't really been an issue. Both of them have been to Bulgaria, both of them have kind of seen the offers, they loved it, etc. The second part of the question, in terms of scaling, I think nowadays it doesn't really matter where you are. I mean, you know, with open buildings and clippings on market, it's not Bulgaria, it's the UK, possibly the US in the future. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we're just a bunch of bugs on laptops and computers, we need the internet, and that's pretty much it. Of course, at some point, you do need to have a kind of local presence. But, you know, when that time happens, you'll know, and you just need to do it. But like I said in the presentation, I think Bulgaria is a really good place to test stuff. And I know that you guys are testing stuff, for example, here, which I think is great because you get something done very quickly and then you can scale up.
Hi. So what's the next big thing on your mind?
Making clippings, you know, the best possible online experience for buying interior stuff. I mean, that's it. I can't see where you are, so.
So you don't have a plan for company number 7?
There are some things that I'm investing in more than actually running. So I'm an investor in Best House. I'm about to invest in a couple of food, beverage-related companies in Sofia. But that'll be stuff that I won't be running on a day-to-day basis. It's just stuff that I've invested in. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to bring some of my experience to those. But in terms of running, you know, the stuff that I run is Spark and plugins and open buildings, so that's kind of my